Welcome to segment 2 in Genealogy 2.0. This is how we can harness Claude 3.5 Sonnet for genealogical projects. I'm Coach Carol, and I'm going to take you through a few slides and then demonstrate for you using Claude. I'm now a very big fan of Claude, as it is a seamless project-driven tool that I can use for many different parts of my genealogy journey. I'm going to show you a little bit about Claude's capabilities and explore and explain the projects feature. And then I'll show you how to set up a project and a knowledge base upload, and then step-by-step guide you through creating a genealogy project and some best practices for organising and uploading family history documents. Again, these images that I'm using were created in DALL-E 3, not Claude. That is not one of its skills. What you're looking at here is a recreation of Claude projects that I have in my archives. And it's a bit different looking to ChatGPT, and it takes a little while to get used to. So give yourself plenty of practice time if it's the first time use for you. You'll notice on the left-hand side that I have some projects listed. Genealogy 2.0, which is on the one I'm working with today. Another one for fiction writing. Another one for training demonstrations for my courseware. Another for We Are Family Archives, and a special project that I'm working on with a cousin. And on the top right, you'll see where you can create your own project very simply by clicking on the icon called Create Project. It's like having your own filing system within your AI tool, and this is a little superior, I think, to the way in which ChatGPT organizes your conversations. Because inside your project, you have what is called the project knowledge. So for example, in my training demonstrations project that you see on the left, it's containing the project knowledge that I've uploaded. And it contains those two documents, Genealogy 2.0, which I'm working from today, and AI-enhanced ancestral storytelling, a step-by-step guide for Claude 3, which is a complete document that you'll find inside my courseware. And currently I've only used 8% of its knowledge size available in this project. And it's very simple to add your project knowledge by clicking on the Add Content button. So being able to use Claude for your Genealogy 2.0 projects, I think you'll find is an exceptionally exciting and extraordinarily improved way of organising and planning your genealogy projects. So in these examples that I'm going to skip through with these slides and then demonstrate for you, I'm going to show you how you can use Claude to generate research questions and hypotheses, what prompts you can use to outline your research goals, strategies for breaking down complex family histories, and planning how to use AI to help in the ancestral profile process. And here on the left, this is a real photo of my father that I've used here, and he will be part of the demonstrations that I share with you. These two are generated images that I used in a different story, and these were generated by DALL-E 3. In my first prompt, I wanted to take my research plan and really get ready for the month of August. And I'm researching my Welsh heritage, which you can see the fan chart listed above, and it's got many gaps in it, as you can see. And my aim, and this is the prompt that I gave to Claude, was to create a new ancestral research plan for August. And it has a copy of the fan chart added to the prompt. So this was part of the response that Claude gave me. And I think it's done an extraordinarily complex and comprehensive response. My first step is to identify the specific gaps. So review each brand of my fan chart and the missing information, and prioritize which gaps you want to focus on first. A simple first step, but one worth stating. And then suggest I set myself some SMART goals. Specific, choose 2 to 3 ancestors to research in depth this month. Make it measurable. Aim to find at least one new piece of information for each chosen ancestor. Achievable, ensure you have access to necessary resources to get that information. Is it relevant? Focus on gaps that will significantly enhance my understanding of my family history. And time-bound, set deadlines for each research task within the month of August. The strategies: utilize AI-powered tools to assist in your research. Cross-reference information from multiple sources to verify accuracy, and explore both digital and physical archives relevant to the time periods and locations of your ancestors. A very comprehensive set of instructions or suggestions that I might follow now and set up my own research plan. In the second iteration, I wanted it to help me with the story of my ancestor, my father, and I want it to give me some feedback on something that I prepared earlier. And the profile is simply a Word document that I wanted it to analyze and give feedback. I've just noticed a spelling error there. It should say give feedback and suggest improvements. So Claude is very good at this process of analysing. This is the way in which I prompted Claude. As you see, there's the prompt that I described before. And it tells me, thank you for sharing the profile. I've analysed the content and some feedback and suggestions for improvement. So it gave me 3 pieces of feedback: that it was a good overview of his life with key events, the narrative style is engaging and personal, and the inclusion of historical context, especially for the world wars and the car hire business, adds depth to the profile. But of course I wanted more, so these are the suggested improvements: for structure, chronology, AI integration, historical context, source citations, narrative consistency, and gap filling. So you'll see that it's helping me not only create the story, as I'll show you in a moment, but the ways in which I can improve it. And this is where Claude is extraordinarily powerful. So my next prompt was to ask it to create a new document that focuses on improving this part of his story, and to include structure, chronology, historical context, and narrative consistency, knowing that some of the other parts that it recommended I change could be handled by myself later. So it then created a new document. And this is another feature in Claude that is really top rate. It gives you a document that you can open, and you'll see it showing here on the right-hand side. You can download it as a document or simply copy and paste it into your Google Doc. And it gives you the response that you asked for. In this case, it created the document that improved that part of the story for my father's history. At this point, I'm going to pause and then demonstrate for you some of the features of Claude. Welcome back. It's Coach Carol with the next segment of this webinar, where we're focusing in on how you can get help from Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And I'm currently over here in Claude. As you can see, I have a professional plan, which is the subscription, and it's well worth it, I can tell you, because it gives you a whole host of Functionality not available otherwise. One of the things that I mentioned in the slide presentation just before was the use of projects. And as you can see here on my front page, it shows me the recent chats that I've had and in which project they appear. Here it gives me any information about introducing projects, and I can try it out with my team. I don't really have a team right now. And just above it, it gives you some sample prompts that you might try. So its conversation window is here to begin with, and you can start prompting it straight away if you wish, or you can go immediately to your projects and use that for your prompt. But let me show you how you create your projects. When you hover over Claude on the left-hand navigation bar, you'll see the recent chats that I've had, and you'll see the projects that I've been working with. So I go to projects, and these are the ones listed. I showed you these on a slide. And if I want to create a new project, I do that here. And the process is quite simple. I'm preparing now for my August research plan. And this will be all about researching and finalising data for my Welsh family. And then you create the project. You can adjust it as you go. You can then set custom instructions for this particular project, and you can add content. So I can go to the Add Content button. I can add my content in text content or upload it from a device. And you won't see where I'm going for that, but I'll just pop into one of my folders and pick up a document. It's to be a PDF, and I'm uploading that now. And that will stay inside this project, right? So that is how you can add to your knowledge base. Even while you are chatting with Claude, you can still add content individually, and that can be added to the project knowledge as you go. So then you can go back to all projects, and I'll show you now some of those inside Genealogy 2.0. So here are the chats that I've had with it, and here is the extensive project knowledge base for this particular project. And in my first instance, I wanted to ask it to recreate this profile for my father. So I uploaded a document, which I had created earlier. And today, I've been developing an ancestral research plan and improving on my uncle's family history story. I've also been enhancing an ancestor's profile for knowledge base. So you can see that you can have several different chats inside a project. So we'll go back to this one, and this is how I made those changes to my story. So the prompt was, I have a story that needs improving, and it's currently displayed in the project knowledge base, and I gave it the name so it could find it, which is this one here, profile. And then I asked it to analyse and give feedback. And you've seen these results in those slides, but here it is in full with the suggested improvements. And then I asked it to create a new document based on those suggested improvements. And it's giving me further enhancements. I could use AI to colorize and enhance any available photos, which I have done. I could create an interactive timeline of his events, generate a family tree visualization, I have that, and use AI research tools to expand on historical context, or employ AI writing tools to further refine the language and style. And then ask me, would I like it to elaborate on any of these. And remember to add this improved profile and these suggestions to your product knowledge base. I can copy its response, or I can retry it if I'm not happy with it. So that was how I used that particular chat, and I can keep going with that to further focus on refining that story. But for now, let's go back to another part of that same project, Genealogy 2.0. Now I want to look at developing an ancestral research plan that I began today. And you saw some of the results of that. And so the simple prompt is showing here. And in this case, I uploaded the document, the chart, fan chart, as another piece of knowledge that it could use to give me the results. So with this one, it's now, as you've seen before, given me some suggestions. But what I can ask it to do to refine this even further is to give it a prompt like, turn this into a 30-day challenge for August in tabular format. So it's now looking through all of its data, all of its recommendations, and hopefully will come up with something that I can use each day for my research plan. And working at lightning speed, my assistant, Claude, has given me that 30-day challenge with each task numbered for the day of the month. On day 1, I need to do this. By day 10, I need to do this. This is a really useful way that I could begin my August research and be able to measure it using my SMART goals, for example, for each of those 3 priority research areas. This is another feature that you can switch on or off called artifacts. So you can ask Claude to generate content, such as your text documents, and it will create an artifact that appears in the dedicated window alongside your conversation. And this is another wonderful feature of Claude. And you'll notice that I have it switched on. Back out of that one, come back to where I was. And we're into Genealogy 2.0. And the third one to show you today is this one, improving a particular story. So this is something you can do with some of your own writing that you have already. In this case, I have transcribed some memories from an uncle, and I used voice dictation and created a Word document. I've uploaded that Word document here for Claude to review, and I've asked it to analyze the story and suggest ways of improving it. So similar to the way I did this one for my father, it's come back with some suggested improvements, but it also expands it by giving it structure and organization, contextual information, a family tree or genealogical chart, photos and documents, and so on. So once again, a comprehensive set of improvements. So then I asked it to proceed with a rewrite of the memoir, keeping it true to his voice and style of writing, but organizing it thematically, and add snippets of historical text where relevant, but leave out any gaps noted for now, and also modernize the language where appropriate. And its response was very good. It did not create the artifact this time, and I've asked it to do this twice, and I'm not sure why it hasn't done it this time, but I can simply copy from here down and put that into my Google Doc. So it's given me the story now with some headings throughout, as well as historical context, like these little pieces here, further headings, and further historical context. And at the bottom of this one, it's quite a long story, as you can see, it says that this rewrite maintains William Francis Allery's voice while providing a more organized structure and some historical context. Remember to add this revised version to your project knowledge base. And I wanted it as an artifact. So I asked it, please provide this as a downloadable Word document, but it just did the same. It just created it here. So I'm not too sure what has gone wrong with my instructions there, but once again, I simply highlighted all of that and copied it into my Google Doc. Once again, it ends with, is there anything else you'd like me to do with this family history? So a very comprehensive way in which you can get Claude to really be your assistant with analysing, with rewriting, and to give you some pointers on how you can improve your own writing. Let's pause at this point, and I'll be back with the last segment.